Yo, 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 what's good, man? How are y'all doing? Welcome. Letting y'all get in here. Okay, we got a couple people. That's what I'm talking about. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Yes. You guys, when you get in here, make sure you drop a comment. Say what's up. And y'all tell me what you. There we go. GC Posted said something. You guys hop on over to the YouTube link in our bio so you guys can leave comments and you guys can interact and engage in the experience, man. There we go. Courtney's in here. I see you, Courtney. What's up, man? There we go. Love you guys. Love you guys. Miss y'all so much. Man, I know that we are not in person and it's sad or whatever, but we still get to experience each other through this live. And I'm so blessed that we actually have this technology to do this, man. I miss y'all so much. I've been praying for every single one of y'all, praying that we can get in the building as soon as possible. There we go. Oh man, I'll argue with anybody. I think we got the best students in the world. I was so looking forward to see you guys' Halloween costumes. I know you guys had some of y'all a little disturbing. Some of y'all's costumes are a little out there. I'm not the scariest person, so I was looking forward to see what y'all could come up with. What's up, man? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in. Like I said on the Instagram live, we still will be doing a Halloween costume contest. We'll try to get those things set up before the end of the week, and we will have a prize for whoever gets the most votes or who we decide is the best, man. Yes, we'll be doing this for the next 2 weeks on social media, on all our platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. We will be doing post live experience for the next 2 weeks to try to slow this curve of COVID, man. So be praying for those families. Also, I'd like us as a family, as Post family, to be praying for John Roberts' family. Heartbreaking, tragic loss. Nobody could have expected it. Just want to be praying for you guys as well, knowing that he was such a vital part of our post worship band, and he truly will be missed, man. So we just want to come together as a family to be praying for his family, his child, and his wife, and especially his family members, man. Tragic thing that happened. All we can do in this time is just pray and just know that you can reach out to any of your small group leaders, man. You can reach out to us. We are here for you in this time, guys. I just want to welcome you guys in. Keep coming in. Keep coming in. There we go. Caitlin said something. How you doing? We got Zoe, Isabel. Come on, guys. Keep logging in. If you guys are joining us on live, I want you guys to hop on over to the link in our bio, man. And that would be great. Also, I'm going to drop a link. I'm going to drop a link to some Spotify worship music, man. We do value worship so much at GC Post, and we understand it is very vital to the discipleship process, man. And although we can't be together right now and in person and throwing our hands up in worship and getting hype up on stage, we still want you guys to hop on over to this link. Excuse me, and just find yourself some time, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, however long you feel, and we will hop on over and just worship, man. There we go. Deacons in. We will be doing a sermon / Devo tonight, man, and actually we'll be having a special guest join us later to do like a little roundtable talk, man. So it's gonna be fun. Make sure you guys let us know on Instagram and in the comments if you would like to possibly join this roundtable talk, man. Next week we'll be doing something similar with another topic, and just to get the perspective of a student, man. And that's the biggest key to all this. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about some of these topics, and also hear some of the advice that you could offer to your fellow students as well as your pastors, man. I see we dropping comments. telling us to pray for Pastor B, Pastor Andy Tyler. Yes, they will be a part of the service this weekend for John. So you guys keep them and lift them up in prayer. We'll definitely be doing that. Like I said, hop on over to the Spotify link for some worship songs, man. That list is heat. So if you would like to hop on over there and hear some worship music, I've been making time to worship in this room alone, man. They got your boy locked up. I'm in quarantine. I'll be released soon. So be praying for Pastor EJ. I'm trying not to go crazy. Y'all know I'm a people person. Listen, I love to talk. I love to talk to people. I like to interact with people. And they told me I can't go outside. All I do is look out this window. But I'm still trying to be joyful and trying to be happy, man. Actually, I want you guys to drop something that you are grateful for in 2020. I want you guys to drop something in the comments. Let me know what you are grateful for. I think it's very important to focus on the goodness that we still have, that God is still providing in this time, bro. Like, it's so easy to focus on everything that's going wrong. It's so easy to focus on just the wild things that are happening, especially in our country and in our lives right now. So guys, just drop something that you're grateful for. Drop something that you are grateful for in the comments. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm thankful for staff members who really care. Like, during this time when we had to, when our leaders had to make a very hard decision, it was crazy to see how staff just came together to get things done. I know that some people were sad about Haunted House Party, but the way that everybody came together and they played their part in either helping clean up or helping figure out, okay, what do we do for the next 2 weeks? And how do we still stay connected to each other, man? My boy Deacon, he's talking about food. Man, I'm so grateful for food. So grateful. I couldn't taste. When I tell you, hey, when you can't taste food, you don't realize how much you miss food, man. But I have slowly but surely gained my sense of taste and smell back. Just one of the symptoms. Technology, so we can still hang out. Miss Kelly said that. You ain't lying. You are not lying about that. We get to be together online. Yes. My boy Isaac, he says miss his friends, bro. Yes, I don't know. We're actually about to be out of school pretty soon, so I'll be in town a lot more. Hopefully we can get together with some of the students and do something, man. But as you guys continue to come on in, we're going to play a game. We're going to get this thing started. And we're going to start off with a little game. The conversation topics that we're going to be talking about is called the cancel culture for Christians. It's something very, very relatable to this time, as in we always hear cancel culture thrown around. And that's really what we're going to be getting into over the next 2 weeks as we meet here online, and hopefully when we guys get back together in person. So this is the game, man. It's called I'm gonna need y'all to cancel that. But I didn't like that name, so I said it's the blank for me. Okay, it's the blank for me. This is a popular term that people tend to use that describes something that's just, you know what, like that, I've had enough of that. It's this quality or this characteristic or maybe this person for me. I wrote a couple of things that it's the blank for me in 2020. This pandemic. Lord Jesus. See, I got back to college and they told me that everybody was sick. I said, what do you mean? I could have just stayed in Portland. They said, no, my roommate got sick, guys. My whole entire hallway of my dorm was sick. And it was just the inevitable, man. It was bound to happen. So if I could say for me, it's the pandemic for me. I need the pandemic to be canceled. If we're going to be canceling things, I need that to be done. I'm over it. I miss hugging people. I miss shaking hands. Yes, I'm a touchy person. I miss that. I miss people. This is what really needs to be done. I'm tired of coughing or sneezing, and you look at me like I'm crazy. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. I got allergies. It's pollen everywhere. There's a reason that I'm coughing or I'm sniffling. Don't be judging me. I'm tired of that. So I need people to stop throwing shady looks for me. This is the last thing I have, and I want you guys to drop. It's the blank for me. What do you wish was canceled in 2020? Oh, somebody. Okay, there we go, Layla. She said it's the drama in 2020 for me. Oh, okay. Somebody's a little angry. Morgan's in here. What's up, Morgan? How y'all doing? This is mine. This is my last one. And I want you and I want you guys to hear me out. It's the skipping from Halloween straight to Christmas for me. Okay. You guys don't understand how much money you are giving Mariah Carey every time we jump from Halloween straight to Christmas and we start playing her song. There's still Thanksgiving, man. It's Turkey Day. That's probably one of the best holidays of the year. I mean, it's the blatant disrespect for Thanksgiving for me, y'all. Y'all got to stop skipping straight from Halloween to Christmas. Take the Christmas tree down. And yes, I know a bunch of y'all already have them up. I'm calling y'all out. Take the trees down. It's not time for that. Y'all wait a little bit, okay? And don't be like my family and leave it up till July. We're not doing that. We are not keeping the Christmas spirit going till July. I'm not having it this year. There we go, man. So, like I said, you guys drop in the comments what is what's it for you? Like what do you wish you could cancel in this season? There we go. Oh, I'm so happy to be with you guys. If you guys are on Instagram Live, like I said, just hop on over to the link in the bio, and we're gonna get right into this thing, man. So if you have your notes, I want you to go get you a notebook, pull out your phone, and be ready to just take in what we're about to go through during this time. I'm so excited. Just a really relatable topic, really, guys. I mean, you hear it all the time, and it's in recent culture that I've heard cancel or this person is canceled. To give you a few examples, it might be a celebrity that has said something off the walls, or they have performed such horrendous acts that we just look at them as a society and say, you know what? We're canceling them. They are canceled. You hear this all the time on social media. You see it everywhere. You've even seen it in the news. And you know that something's gone too far when it ends up in the news and it doesn't just stay on social media. So just this idea of canceling people, whether it be Kevin Durant going to the Nets, people canceled him. Or maybe it was when he was considered a cupcake by going to the Golden State Warriors, man. Multiple, so many YouTube stars have been canceled. And then they dropped this, what is it, like an apology video. So many of those videos that we've seen, it's almost that our social media is flooded with this cancel culture. And basically today we're just going to be getting to the roots of what actually cancel culture is, and how as Christians we have to be aware of it, and how can we defend against it. It might be something as harmful for some is like, you know what, y'all got to stop wearing socks and Crocs. We're not doing that no more. Stop doing that. That's canceled. Or something as serious to say, I'm canceling a person because of their actions. And we're just gonna be getting to the basics and the root issue of cancel culture. It is popular. It is very popular. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that it's something that is to a closed-minded group of people, or it's something that's only affecting a little bit of us. But cancel culture is out there. It's in your face. We all have come across it. I'm praying that you haven't experienced it, but the truth of the matter is that there probably is a larger group of us that have probably experienced it or indulged in it ourselves, man. If I'm being honest, I've definitely been guilty after reading these things and finding out like the true nature of a cancel culture and how that is so against what Christ calls us to, that I've been guilty of it, to see certain people post certain things, whether it be a political view, or maybe it might be a hurtful slur that people might post or think is okay to say. I find myself, and even in my heart, to say, nah, that's not cool with me, man. Like, you're canceled. Like, I can't associate myself with you. I'll never talk to you again. I don't care if you ever change your mind, or if you give me an apology video. I'm not having it. So I've even been guilty of that in the past. And through reading John chapter 4, we see how Jesus would handle this cancel culture today, and how he calls us to respond to it. So let's just get straight to that, man, talking about cancel culture. Oftentimes you hear 3 topics or words around cancel culture, and I want you guys to write these down. It is call out. You're calling something out. You're saying, I see this. You cannot hide this. I'm calling out. There's this online shaming culture. So we just openly shame people for certain things that they do or say. There's another aspect. The second aspect is shame. There's a shame aspect to this cancel culture. To look at somebody and say, not only do I see what you're doing, but I'm going to turn away from you, and I'm going to put you in this box. I'm going to keep you there. I'm shaming you publicly. And then there's the actual canceling of the person. That is the third piece in this trifecta that makes cancel culture. So you have call out, you have shame, and you have cancel. These 3 things make up cancel. I'm sorry, I did that weird thing with my hand, y'all. These 3 things make up cancel culture. And like I said, man, it can be something as lighthearted as, let me give you an example. You often hear cancel culture, and like you say it in a joking manner. So if somebody eats pineapples on their pizza, I'm not calling anybody out, but if you do this, you might hear somebody say, ew, like pineapples on a pizza? Are you serious? No, you're canceled. And you see how it's lighthearted, and you're not really meaning any true intentions, but you might be using cancel culture to describe that something is gross. So you see how it doesn't really mean that you're cutting somebody off or you're completely done with them, but you disapprove of a small thing that they have done, and not really meaning any harm when you say it. Or maybe it's something silly, like you're saying it to be ironic. Like what's that one guy's name? Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is canceled. Like, and then make that a hashtag. Obviously, the man is not to be canceled by anybody. I'm not like, he's a handsome guy, y'all. I'm not going. That might be weird, but dude, he's like, and then he's got it. Obviously, one of the most iconic roles in the Avengers, man. He's Thor. Like, to hear somebody say that they cancel him, you look at them and you laugh. You'd be like, why would you cancel him? Or maybe somebody like Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers ain't never hurt nobody in his entire life. So to say that you would cancel somebody that has no premise of needing to be canceled, you say it is almost a joke. But it could be something as serious when we get to the real root of what cancel culture really is. It's not as lighthearted as we think, and we're getting into why we probably shouldn't even be participating in this cancel culture. The word tells us that we should not be a part of this world, and we shouldn't conform to the ways of this world. And that is a very common way of this world that we live in right now. And it's just say, I don't approve of what you have to say. I don't like what you stand for or you agree with. I do not find any joy in anything that has to do with you. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just cancel you. Like, when we break it down like that, like, we see that the root of this is hurtful, and it's truly, it's hateful. Who who are we as Christians to look at anybody and say, you know what, I'm canceling you. Like you wronged me, or you did something that I don't agree with. I don't like that. I'm canceling you. Like, who are we to say that? And if we take a step back and look at it like that, it's like, dang, like that really that really isn't as okay as we think it is. But because the world has told us it is, we can easily fall into this trap to believe that it is. So as we break down what it means to call out somebody, I don't want call out to be confused with accountability, because if as you go through the word, you hear that accountability is a great thing, and it is. But to call out somebody is like the evil twin of accountability, if you will. It's like the kryptonite. It's making accountability have a nasty taste in your mouth when you hear about it. See, accountability is not judging. Accountability is not tearing down. Accountability is holding to a higher standard because you love somebody. That is the root of accountability. Accountability has a heart of love. What calling out has a heart of hate. You hear me? When you call somebody out, you're publicly holding somebody accountable for something harmful they said or they did. But oftentimes, when I say that you want to hold somebody accountable, are you doing it out of love? Are you doing it because you really care about this person bettering themselves and saying what they did was not okay? Or are you eager to call somebody out? Like, are you doing this so you say, "Oh, I got you. I'm gonna catch you slipping"? And then when you look at it from that perspective, you have to check your whole entire heart. You like, that is not from love. That is just that is a heart of hate that is showing you that you are ready to humiliate. I can't say that word. Y'all ain't even gonna try it. Humiliate somebody. You want to see them fall. You want to see them publicly experience the backlash of a decision that they made. That's not the heart of Christ. That is not the heart of a believer. And that doesn't mean that you're a terrible person, but it's not something that we should indulge in. And if we're being real, sometimes we don't think like that. We don't think, is it really possible for me to be too eager when pointing something out or pointing somebody else's mistakes? So that is the heart of calling out. Accountability has a heart of love, while calling out has a heart of hate. And then we move on to the next part of this cancel culture, bro. And it's shame to like publicly mock somebody, to say, I've already called you out, and I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. I think you need to be humiliated. I think you need to be embarrassed. This could be something from like posting the meme that's saying somebody is wilding, or they're doing the most, like going the extra mile to let this person feel the consequences of something they've said. Or maybe your shame is like to publicly share this person's information so that other people join in on you. Like it sounds like, wow, I would never do something like that. Although that's what we see in society today. We see that on social media all the time. To say, I don't agree with this. I want other people to jump on this bandwagon with me and publicly shame this person. I don't want one person to look at you and see good. We should feel ashamed for these things, you know, but oftentimes people don't. When we look at society, we say that we want people to feel the shame of whatever they did. I want you to feel this. I want you to feel all of it. So to make sure that you feel every single piece of it, I'm gonna bring people in to publicly shame you. I want people to join me in this. And the very last part to a cancel culture is to just boycott somebody that you believe needs to be held accountable for something they said or did. Boycotts they've been an important tool when we look at the history of this nation. Boycotts have done have brought great change. They have brought across a point that somebody needed to make, that somebody said, you know what, I'm not accepting this anymore. And instead of waiting on results, instead of waiting for somebody else to intervene, I myself, me personally, am going to boycott this person. I'm going to be done with them. Now, understand that there's a difference in going about something to say, listen, you guys are a part of this action, and that doesn't line up with my values or what I'm called to live. So I'm going to separate myself. But in separating yourself, you're only watching the community and watching the people that you keep around you. But to boycott somebody is totally different. That's just say, I'm done with you and everything you stand for, who you are, and there's no chance of fixing it. There's no chance of you crawling out of this hole that I have put you in, or you have put yourself in through your actions or something you said. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's think about that for a second. If you guys were in school, and I'm pretty sure we've all been faced with this, you always come home and either your parents say, hey, you need to watch who you hang out with. Be very wise with who you hang out with. There's nothing wrong with being wise, but to go the extra mile to say you're boycotting somebody is the heart of cancel culture. It usually happens online, guys. Like cancel culture usually happens online, but we see as we go back into schools, as we join back together in functions, we see that now it's not just staying online, but to say like, I'm going to publicly get lost in this drama, this pettiness, this cruelty, and even sometimes take out revenge. We had a comment saying it was the 2020 drama for me. Like I'm tired of it. They said this earlier, and I was like, yeah, we can all relate to that. There's just some things that we're tired of. There's some attitudes, and there's some things that people do that we're tired of, and we find ourselves either angry or hurt by it, and we say, you know what, I just don't want anything to do with you ever. And for the next 2 weeks, we're just talking about 4 kinds of people that most people would rather cancel than love. And that's the heart of cancel culture, is to say that I can't reconcile, I can't choose to love. I don't see myself treating you better than you treated me. I don't see myself giving you a chance after you messed up. And we're just digging into understand like this is that's not what we're called to at all. But how do we love somebody that's hard to love? It'd be easier to cancel them. Can we be real? It'd be easier to just be done with people that don't agree with you, that don't care about your interests, that don't have your good in mind, but you have their good in mind. It'd be so easy to just be done with these people. Let's put them on a boat. Let's ship them off. Let's put them on a rocket ship after that. Let's send them to Mars and don't give them no good food when we send them there. It'd be easier to do that, right? But how do we love people that are hard to love? How do we love people that are hard to love? And now we're gonna hop into scripture, and I'm gonna be reading from John chapter 4. I want you guys to bear with me. It's a bit of a lot, and I'm gonna summarize some of it. But it's John chapter 4, and it's about Jesus and the Samaritan woman. Here we go, guys. Turn to your Bibles with me. This is a great time. If you haven't already, download the Bible app, man. Send your friends a friend request on there. I've got plenty of you guys that are tuned in right now. I've sent out friend requests and we've all accepted them, and that's awesome. It's a great way to connect. So I want you guys to download the Bible app if you don't have it already. And let's get into this thing. Jesus knew the Pharisees had heard that he was baptizing and making more disciples than John. Though Jesus himself didn't baptize them, his disciples did. So he left Judea and returned to Galilee. He had to go through Samaria on the way. Eventually, he came to the Samaritan village of Sychar, near the field that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired from this long walk, sat wearily beside the well about noontime. Soon a Samaritan woman came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Please give me a drink." Now, if Jesus was sitting next to you and he asked you for a drink, surely we would be fanboying and girling out and say, "Oh my gosh, yes, you can have something to drink," like immediately. But you have to understand that that Jesus was Jewish, and the Samaritans were like, they were like Titans fans and Colts fans, man. Like it was such a big difference. You know what? Better yet, it was like Kentucky Wildcat fans and Tennessee Volunteer fans. They could not stand each other. Both teams are trash, but they could not stand each other at all. So this Samaritan woman, she's a Kentucky fan, and then you have Jesus who his family loves Tennessee. So she walks up, and for Jesus to say something to her is a big deal, because these two people do not talk to each other. These two towns next to each other, they don't rub with each other very well. So pay attention to that. Jesus says, "Hey, may I have something to drink?" He was all alone at this time, and because his disciples had went to the village to go purchase some food and things like that. So the woman was shocked at this point, for the Jews refused to have anything to do with Samaritans. They said, "I'm done with y'all. We don't talk to y'all." So this was crazy that Jesus would say something. She said, "You are a Jew and I'm a Samaritan woman. Why are you even asking me for something to drink?" Jesus replied, "If you only knew the gift that God has for you and who is speaking to, you would ask me and I would give you living water. But sir, you don't have a rope or a bucket," she said. "And this well is very, very deep. Where would you even get this water? You don't have any of the supplies you need. And besides, do you think you are greater than our ancestor Jacob, who gave us this well in the first place? How can you offer better water than he and his sons and his animals enjoyed?" Jesus replied, "Anyone who drinks this water will soon become thirsty again. But those who drink the water that I give will never be thirsty again. It becomes a fresh, bubbling spring within them, giving them eternal life." "Please, sir," this woman said, "you got to give me this. This water you're talking about sounds like something that I have to get my hands on." So she asked for this water, and then I'll never be thirsty again, and I won't have to come get this water. "So go get your husband," Jesus told her. And then she goes on to say, she says, I don't have a husband, Jesus." Jesus said, "You're right. You don't have a husband, for you've already had 5 husbands, and you aren't even married to the man that you're living with now. You certainly spoke the truth, sir." The woman said, "You must be a prophet. So tell me, why is it that the Jews insist that Jerusalem is the only place of worship, while we Samaritans claim that is here on Mount Gerizim?" Now see that this is now we find this point of conflict, to say that the Jews believe this and the Samaritans of this town believe this. So now you see this conflict. Now you see that there is a disagreement, and whatever you believe ain't right, and whatever I believe has to be the answer. So now we see this, and this is something that we all can relate to. I mean, think about the times that we live in. The election day being yesterday, and I'm pretty sure all you guys have seen on social media some of the anger that has come out of this election. Like people are just blatantly calling each other out and saying, like, excuse me, like, whatever you believe is wrong. Can't you see it my way? Don't you believe in what I believe? Like, what's wrong with you? How could you be a Democrat? Or how could you be a Republican? Oh, you rocking with Trump? Nah, that ain't it. Oh, you with Sleepy Joe. So now you see this conflict that we're even seeing today. Like the same thing that these guys are going through, there's conflict. So as we continue to read, he says that believe me, dear woman, this is what Jesus is saying now. He says, "The time is coming when it will no longer matter whether you worship the Father on this mountain or in Jerusalem. You Samaritans know very little about the one that you worship, while we Jews know all about him. For salvation comes through the Jews. But the time is coming indeed, it's here now, when true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. The Father is looking for those who will worship him that way. For God is spirit, so those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth. The woman said, I know the Messiah is coming, the one who is called Christ. When he comes, he will explain everything to us. Then Jesus told her, I am the Messiah. I am the one that you say is coming. I am the one that you discuss amongst your family and your friends. Then Jesus, his disciples came back and they were shocked to find him talking to this woman. Now, I told you earlier, that Samaritans and Jews don't get down like this, man. They don't rock with each other. So Jesus' disciples are coming back from going to get food, and they see that Jesus is talking to this woman, and they're dumbfounded. They're like, "Oh my, what are you doing? Like Jesus, you cannot talk to her." So they were shocked to see them talking, but they didn't have the nerve to say, "Why are you talking with her?" The woman left her water jar beside the well and ran back to the village, telling everyone, "Come and see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could he possibly be the Messiah?" So the people came streaming from the village to see him. Meanwhile, the disciples were urging Jesus, "Rabbi, you need to eat something. You're getting weary, I see." But Jesus replied, "I have a kind of food you know nothing about." Did someone bring him food while we were gone? The disciples asked each other. Then Jesus explained, "My nourishment comes from doing the good will of God who sent me and finishing his work. You know the saying, 4 months between planting the harvest, but I say, wake up and look around. The fields are already ripe for the harvest. The harvesters are paid good wages, and the fruit they harvest is people brought to the eternal life." Like he's saying that our work as Christians is to bring people to know him. It's to share this good news, even with people that we don't even like, even with people that don't agree or believe the same things that we believe. They might not even look like you, but he's telling us we are called to a higher standard. The world tells us that if somebody doesn't like you, if somebody doesn't look like you, if somebody doesn't agree with you, that they are to be canceled. And they don't want to hear anything that you have to say. But Jesus is showing us right here. He's saying that no, like we have a good news to share. We have the ability and the responsibility to love those who people might look at us and say, "You're crazy for even talking to them. How could you be talking to those people? Don't you believe this? And don't you live over here? You could never talk to that person. What are you doing?" So now it's showing us that to love like Christ is even confusing to those who don't know him. It's not what culture is just spitting out or giving to us. I want you guys to drop in the comments an experience that you might have had or something that you could agree with. Say, like, is it hard to talk to people that don't agree with the same things you agree with? So during this time, we see that there's a major rift between the Jews, which is Jesus' people, and the Samaritans, people in the city over. Like I said, I wanted you guys earlier to like picture Kentucky fans versus Tennessee Volunteers, and that seems to be all the people that make up our church apparently. And we have a couple Vanderbilt fans sprinkled in. We're praying for them. But think about it. They had their ethnic and cultural differences, which made them distrust each other. And then they had their political differences that made them angry with each other. And then there were these religious beliefs on where to worship and how to worship that made them hate each other. For hundreds of years, you would never hear of a Jew and a Samaritan talking to each other, let alone have respectful conversation like Jesus did with the woman. But then Jesus shows up and he shows us how we should interact with those who society tells us that we should cancel if they don't agree with us. I want you guys to write this point down. Jesus valued her. This is something that we have to put ourselves in his shoes, and we have to say, I don't agree with this person in this moment, but you have to value somebody to love them when they don't agree with you, to love them when they don't look like you, and to love them when they don't believe the same things you believe. You have to value this person. Although Jewish culture was accustomed to dismissing or hating the Samaritan, Jesus never dismissed her, nor was he even cruel to her. He didn't roll his eyes and he didn't just say, I can't believe you even talked to me. You know what he did? He valued her enough to even have a conversation with her. Sometimes we think it's this really big thing that we have to go through, and we have to do all these things before we learn to love people. And he's saying you can show love to people by having a conversation with people that don't agree with everything you agree with. He treated her with respect. We have to respect one another, even when we don't agree. When we have to share this good news that changed our lives, and in return will change their life. As believers, I know that God looked at me and said, you know what? I love you enough to send my son to die for you. You know, Jesus, he took the punishment for our sins so that we could have a relationship with God. So me knowing that good news, knowing that I was not deserving of it, knowing that I couldn't do anything to earn it. I wasn't a perfect person. We weren't good people. We didn't deserve it, but he still did it. We have to share that same love that was shown to us. Don't let somebody else's harsh comments or their beliefs and their disagreements change who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's saying I'm not gonna leave it up to somebody else to tell me how I should respond to people. Because you know what happens, guys? We'll go our entire life based off feelings, and we'll go our entire lives disagreeing, hating, and not enjoying life because we let everybody influence us instead of the character that Jesus is calling us to. He's not calling us to just walk by our feelings, but he's saying, I know that somebody did this to you, right? Look, I know that they were talking crazy, but I'm calling you to a higher standard. I'm calling you guys above that. And not because of how good they are, but because of how good I am. But because of how good God was to us. He's saying you don't even have to base it off of what they believe or what they've done. He's saying, look to me and what I did for you. And that is your motivation. That is your reasoning for loving those who don't agree with you, who are different from you. So Jesus valued her. And this goes two ways. You know what? She valued Jesus. Although the Samaritans were accustomed, just like the Jews were, to not like the Samaritans were accustomed to not liking the Jews. They were supposed to hate them and disagree with them. But this woman valued Jesus enough to give him a drink of water. She wasn't even supposed to be talking to this man. She wasn't even supposed to be in position to be either worthy enough, or society told her that she was not supposed to have anything to do with this man at this well. She could have got up, turned away. She could have said, you are a Jew. Why are we even doing this? But she valued Jesus enough to give him a drink of water. She listened and she learned from him. When we set ourselves up to listen to those who might not always agree with us, we set ourselves up to be able to learn. I didn't agree with the Christian message when I was growing up. I'd been to church before. I did let me sing in the choir, but my heart was hard and I wasn't open to listening to anything that Jesus was trying to reveal to me. And it wasn't I stopped talking so much. It wasn't until I took a moment to listen to actually what people have to say. You know what my biggest excuse for was to not know Jesus is that Christians are hypocritical. Christians they just don't want me to have any fun, man. They don't want me to enjoy anything. That's why I'm not listening to them. And this whole time I'd had this misconception and I had this belief that was not the message that Jesus was trying to teach me. That wasn't his message at all. But it wasn't until I was open to listening. We have to be open to listen to each other. And then the next step in this is that she went to go tell others what Jesus had did for her, what she had learned. She didn't just keep it to herself. Sometimes we learn from our mistakes or our life experiences, and then we just keep it all to ourselves and we don't share it with anybody. There's people that go through things that you go through. There's people that could value what you have to share. Do not be scared of that. Um, um, do not be closed-minded and shut off to sharing the good news that you have now. Now it's a call for us to go out and share what Jesus has showed us. Some of you guys that come to Pulse, that have given your life to Christ, now you have this next step of sharing what you're learning for yourself so that others can experience what Jesus has done in your life. Imagine how the world would look if we could change how we acted with people, if we could change how we interacted with people, if we learn to value those who we disagree with. It would look totally different. Everybody would have expected Jesus to either ignore or condemn this woman. Jesus challenged his followers to love people who are different instead of rushing to cancel them. That wasn't his first response. It wasn't to just say, oh, I don't agree with anything you have to say, I'm canceling you. Because Jesus and the Samaritan woman valued each other. Instead of letting their differences separate them, many lives were changed. Not just her life, but many people were changed because they both valued each other enough to listen, love, and respect each other. Other people were impacted by that. When we choose to go against culture and say, I know that everybody wants to cancel, but let me sit down and listen, let me love, and let me respect this person. Let me find value in this person because Jesus calls me to that. That is our reasoning. That is our reasoning for loving each other. Listen, man, when we forget to value people who are different than us, when we choose to only learn from people who already agree with us, our worldview and our insight gets a whole lot smaller than it could be. If I found a good book and I read it and I only continued to read that book because I liked everything in it, I would never know what all the other books held. I would never know all the other information that was out there. If if I only grew up with my siblings and I only decided to be friends with them, my life would not have the same joy as it does today. Think about, like, you have to take a chance with people. That's like if you think about your best friend, you were not always best friends with them. You had to initiate in conversation. You had to take a chance to open that door to have a relationship with them. I didn't even like my best friend that I have now. I didn't. Me and him were not cool. He was tall. I was short. I wasn't cool with that. What you mean? Why you gotta be tall, bro? What's up with that? Why is my knees different than your knees? Like, I don't know. It was weird like that. But my best friend, like very much will be one of my best men in my wedding. Like, I didn't even like him at first. We didn't agree with each other. And the funny thing was, it wasn't because I had talked to him and had a conversation with him to say, I don't like you, bro. I had heard something from somebody else. So I let something I heard and I let something that I didn't even experience for myself influence a relationship that I almost didn't have. And this is literally like my best friend. We played football together. We had so many experiences. We went on vacation together. I've lived with this man before. But to think about, if we were so shut off to only mess with people that agree with what we agreed with, I tell you right now, life would be a whole lot more boring. Life would look a whole lot more different, and our experiences would be very limited. And the joy that we were open to having would be dwindled and hindered. Like, if Jesus had only shared the message between his disciples and he never shared it with anybody else, and he told them, like, when I give you this truth, I don't want you to tell anybody, our eternities would be affected. We wouldn't even have a relationship with Jesus if we just kept everything. If people kept everything that they grew to learn to themselves. Through Jesus' example, he challenges us to do the same, to love people who aren't like you, to love people who don't agree with you. I know you guys probably have somebody in mind right now, and I don't want you to drop it in the comments, but I want you to write it in your journals. I want you to write the name of somebody that you do not agree with, whether it be because of politics, because they look different, because they don't like the same things you like, or maybe somebody that you love and that you appreciate doesn't like them. I want you to write that down in your book, and I want you to be praying for this person throughout the week. I want you to take the time, whether it be just 5 minutes, and say, Lord, help me respect this person. I want you guys to pray that. I want you to say, help me respect this person. Help me find value in he or she, and help me share your love with them. You see, we're not called to do these things on our own. Our nature in the world we live in makes it hard, but that's what the Holy Spirit is inside of us. He helps us with these things. You just have to pray, and you have to put these things into practice. It's not going to be an easy fight. It's not easy to love people that don't agree with you. It's not easy to love people that aren't like you, but it is possible, and it's possible through Jesus Christ. Listen, guys, we're trying to get somebody in here right now. We got our girl, the Lana Petty. We're about to bring her in, and we're about to get into some discussion about cancel culture. Everybody say what's up. Y'all send my girl some positivity in the comments. What's up, Lana? Oh, you good?
My mic's muted. There we go.
There we go. Muted. What is good, Miss Petty? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Quarantine doing good.
It's hard.
You in quarantine?
Yeah, I'm in quarantine.
Oh man, have you been watching? What's a show that you've been watching? Have you enjoyed anything on TV?
Well, me and my family, the past 3 nights we've watched the Harry Potter movies, so that's been fun.
Harry, you can stay up during those?
My mom can't, but I can.
Hey man, I feel you. I'm not big on movies. I'm not the best when it comes to watching movies. Harry Potter is a long movie.
It's about 2.5 hours, but it's a good movie.
No, we'll have to check it out. You guys, let us know how you feel about these Harry Potter movies, man. Lana, I'm so glad that you are here. Honestly, I asked Lana literally today, could she join us in this conversation, and she didn't hesitate at all, guys. She was willing and able to offer advice and insight and perspective of how it is to be a teenager and experience cancel culture. So we are so happy that she joined us. And we're just gonna really just have a conversation, not too long, however long it needs to be. And you guys can drop some comments in with however you feel like you should respond to these questions. But Lana, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good? You healthy? Awesome. Lana, I just want to say this girl right here, y'all, has so much more influence than I think she realizes sometimes. Your circle, you have a great group of friends, man, and you guys are always in the front during worship experiences, and we see you on the weekends, and you guys are serving in lounge, and that is awesome. And more people see that than I think you realize, and that's just an amazing, like you have amazing high in character. You genuinely care about people, and I kind of see you as like this person that people feel like they can come to with their problems and things like that. So just let you know, continue to do what you're doing. You're awesome. Like, we seriously love you at GC, and can't wait to see what your life looks like, man.
Thanks. I'm for sure very grateful for everybody around me, especially like my church family. Like, y'all are my first family. There's there's nothing beyond that. But for sure, it's been the last 8 years at the church has been life-changing, obviously, because like I was little when my parents started the church, and I didn't know much, but like growing up in it and seeing like we call them the OGs, so it's kind of like that started in G Kids and that are growing up and have grown, like Bailey Biggs, she's in college now, but like she's grown up through G Kids, and like she's been a big influence in my life. But it's cool to see like everything happening in like the building, how everything's how they're doing construction right now. Like it's so cool to see, and I'm just blessed to have everybody around me.
Yeah, you seem like literally like every stage. So I wonder if like has the last 8 years like just flown by looking back, or do you feel like it was a very slow process?
It has, except for this year. This year feels like it's been forever long, but
Yeah.
the past 8 years, like it's crazy to see from my parents starting in our living room to a small building in Westmoreland to the annex here in Portland, and and then we'd go into the schools, and then we'd go. Now we're in our own building. Like it just feels like it's not real. Like I remember when we first got into the building, I was like, "This isn't real. Like it doesn't feel real." Like I was just so numb from excitement and just in awe of everything that everybody had put together and everything that God has worked through them. Like our mission, like our not our mission statement, but like just our statement. God has like done good work in you, so He can do good work through you. Like
Yeah,
it's laid out everything. Like God has just worked through my parents, have worked through the staff, just everybody. It's amazing.
definitely. When you look around, you definitely see that your support system truly loves you, man. And like I said, that's like awesome because you are like the OG. You got the OG dream team. Yes, look, he just our boy Deacon just said the OG dream kids, man. And I hear that comment a lot. It's crazy. Like we posted a picture a little bit ago on Generation page, and it was like everybody in somebody's living room around a like a whiteboard.
Yeah, that was we used to live in Westmoreland, and that was
Mhm.
at the Westmoreland
I'm
house.
sorry.
And they had like this big, huge whiteboard, and us kids would go play and stuff like that. But like, I actually do remember going in the living room and my dad just setting up a whiteboard and just they would make connections. Like, I think it was the middle was in the middle. I think was the Jesus' name, and then it was like, what do we want to um like
Mhm.
what do we want to be as a church? What do we want to
Yeah,
grow in? What do we want to
that's
like?
crazy.
It was just, yeah, that picture definitely brought back memories.
Man, so like literally from the whiteboard to reality, like that's
Hmm.
wild. I'm gonna get into it, and I'm gonna ask you some questions, man, about this cancel culture. Um, like I said, it's your first year in high school. We're praying for you. It only gets crazier. But if you could give us like a almost like a definition of like what do you think cancel culture is?
Um, to me, canceled culture would be taking um picking people out of a crowd. Like
Mhm.
um, it would be like if you could pick one person out of a crowd and
Yeah,
pick a flaw, just one flaw. That's the first thing you think about, and you're like,
yeah,
oh, that's them. Like that
yeah,
you're defining the thing, like you're defining them from the first
yeah,
thing that you think about them. Um, so like the first time I saw you, like I thought I was like, I remember being in my dad's truck and I was going to guitar lessons and I was like, who is that? And my dad was like, that's EJ, and I was like, who is that? And he was like, he's gonna be an intern here, and I was like, oh, cool. And then the first time I met you, you made me feel like a superstar. And like then I was like, I want to have EJ points. Like I remember
That's
during the internship, you were like, I'm giving out EJ points. And I was like, I want to have EJ points because EJ makes me feel like a superstar, and I want to be a superstar.
awesome.
But like canceled culture, like reminds me of when we're at school or when you're in the public, like you see one thing, like their image, like they're
Yeah,
like like not drama, but like you see one thing and you're like, oh, that I don't like them. Like I'm
yeah. Like I'm done
canceling.
with that.
I'm done with that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to be around them, but you don't actually get time to know them. So you just cancel them.
Yeah, that's really good. I love that perspective actually. To say like I'm picking something about you because you don't know everything about everybody, and you don't even know like why they do some of the things they do. But to say that I'm taking this aspect of you, I'm gonna blow it up, and I'm done with you for it. Like you
Yeah.
did that, I'm done with you. That's really good. Um, do you see that happen a lot in school? Like, I mean, like I
Well,
graduated in 2017, and like how much of this do we see in today's school?
I for sure see it a lot, and I'm guilty for it. Like,
Mm.
um, coming from like my background, like I'm blessed to have a very like I was grown up in church. Like obviously, like my parents started the church, but
Yeah.
like I would go to. I remember going to school. Like I learned throughout middle school. Like there are so many more kids that aren't don't have good home lives or home
Hmm.
lives or don't have everything that I have, and I need to be grateful for that. And like going through middle school, I'd be like, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, they did this," or um, uh, "They're this person," and I would take that and be like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to be around them. Like I'm gonna get in
Hmm.
trouble if I'm with them, but I don't get time to know them." And throughout high school, like it's blown up in my face a little bit. Um, because like you're not in one grade, like you have multiple grades in your classes sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, so like you would see them, you're like, I what? So you're like, so you see that a lot. You're like, have their own crews or cliques, and they're
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, we want to associate with them or whatever. Like I see that a lot, and it's definitely heartbreaking, and I'm guilty for it once again. Like, it's hard, but yeah, I see it a lot.
Yeah, that's first off, this is what I talk about, like having high character, to be able to admit that to your peers and say, listen, it's okay because I've struggled with something like this. I've seen it for myself, in my own life, and I think that is huge. And I don't want to let the moment pass to say like that's awesome to be able to call these things out and to not, oh well, I'm perfect, because I think it's easy to do that too. I think it's easy to hide behind things, but you said something that goes straight even to the message, like to say like people said something about this person, so I didn't experience for myself, but because that's what everybody else believed, I just took it as my truth. And that's one thing that we see happening with the Samaritan woman, to say like, listen, like you're Jewish, I don't know if you know, but we're not supposed to be cool because look at the history that we have together. So like it's crazy how we always like, sometimes people look at this like an old dusty book and nothing can relate, and we look at it and we see like, dang, like they were going through the same mess we were going through. So that actually brings me to my next question. um would you like what advice would you offer to the because now I'm moving over to the social media aspect of it. You said you see cancel culture all the time in schools as far as like cliques and how people disagree with each other. But from a social media standpoint, what advice would you give to somebody that feels the need to just post about their cancel culture? Like, so somebody doesn't agree with them and they're just openly going to call them out for it on social media. Like, what advice would you give somebody that's in that right now? Like, they're about to type, Alana pops in on their shoulder and says, hey, before you do that, boom, what would you give them?
Yeah. One thing I would say is, as far as cancel culture goes, like, um, don't make it a public, like there's an extent to it, like
Mm-hmm.
if you're talking about it as like in a general thing, like you're like um uh you say like, I mean, expressing your feelings on social media isn't a bad thing, but to an extent it
Mm-hmm.
can be, because like if you're
Mm.
directing it towards a person and they know like they're like and they know that it's towards that person, like it will hurt them obviously, but like
Yeah.
if you're like saying like social media, multiple people can see it, and so um like you doing that, like I would say think about uh you being in that situation, like you
Oh,
being in that like you have like beef with or whatever, like them
right,
being
right.
on this person out because they
They
uh
talking crazy.
did
They
this
talking
at
crazy.
school or whatever, they talk trash about me
Yeah.
or whatever, and then you start rebuttaling about them or whatever, and making it even worse. Like sometimes social media is a good thing. Like you can catch up with your friends, you can see what's going on in the world, but to an extent, what with you posting things like just to um, put yourself out there and put every single one of your emotions out there about a specific thing
Yeah.
can get kind of like, it can put people down, like a lot
Yeah.
of people down, and like people could take that the wrong way too. Like say like you put it towards this person and that person knows, but like another person could be like, oh, like it can make them worry. Like they could be like, oh, am I the person? And
Yeah.
then there's this whole big blown up equation or whatever. Like you don't know what to
Yeah.
do, and like
So it's
it
like
just
adding fuel to
makes
the
the
fire.
drama worse. I said,
Mm-hmm.
like, I would just say, think before you do, obviously. Like, think
Mm-hmm.
before you do it. Put yourself in that person's shoes. Empathy. Like, put yourself in their shoes. But yeah.
Come on now. Preacher Petty just told y'all how it is, man. Think about the other person in the situation before you decide to post. And I think that's something that's not practiced a lot today. So like you just touched on a very good point to say like it's a whole lot of you did this, I'm gonna call you out for it, I'm gonna shame you for it, and I'm gonna cancel you. But like you said, if we were to put ourselves in their shoes, would we have more sympathy and empathy for that person? And then would that make it easier for us to love them if we I think it would. I think it makes it easier to love people when you understand where they come from or what situation they're in, as opposed to just going off that first emotion. Because emotions change, but the social media posts don't. The, the
Mm-hmm.
internet is forever, man. Think about that. Y'all better tell somebody. Preach. They got a nice ring to it now. Preacher Petty. I mean, I'm just saying.
That.
Hey,
But
we are calling it out now. Um, so a couple more questions for you. You said it for a second, and I just want to touch on it. What is in this day and age? I think people even want to cancel social media to say that it is like the root of all evil, and we should
yeah.
just be done with it completely. But I don't necessarily think that's true. What do you think the benefit is to social media and the benefit to sharing the gospel through it?
I think this is actually a really cool topic because I recently, at school, we were doing something in health science, and it was talking about like you had to do pros and cons. And well, I had the cons of social media, but like there were multiple pros that I didn't even know about. And some that
Yeah.
I learned is like you could think about it, but like you didn't know it. So like what I learned is that social media can be a good thing. Like one, you can a lot of things you can do. You can reach out to others, like
Yeah.
encourage people, and you being on social media can encourage people too. Like that's a good platform to encourage people on. Like I know I follow multiple like churches, like Elevation Church. Like I
Yeah.
follow their youth ministry, uh, Elevation Rhythm, and they put stuff out like every week. They make it like where we can understand and stuff like that. But they put out encouragement every week. Another
Mm.
thing for social media, um, you it can be, well, a con that it could happen was like you get sucked into it, and some
Mm.
things on social media like aren't aren't good. Like they're not
Yeah.
great for you to be on. Like you could get sucked into it, and it's hard to get sucked out. So like it, or like even like TikTok. I don't have it, but TikTok, like a lot of people have it. Like it's not necessarily a bad thing, but like if my thing is if you're on it more than you're in your Bible, reading in your Bible, or you're listening to a message, then it gets kind of like it's like taking over your life. But it's not a terrible thing. Like I get sucked into it sometimes. And I can get like I'm not in my Bible all the time, and
Mm.
I'll go on Instagram and I'll scroll through Instagram more than I will my Bible, but then it convicts me, like I'm like, am
Mm.
I letting this control my life, or am I going to let my am I going to let God determine, like, am I gonna be in His Word more than I am on
Yeah,
social
paying
media?
attention to what has your attention the most.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Um,
that's
I
really
think
good.
we touched on it at Pulse.
Hmm.
Can't remember which message it was, but they were talking about how um, what is um, what's the thing that is your priority, you know?
Hmm.
Like, you got to think through it. Like, what is your priority? Is it going to be um is it going to be looking at your followers and seeing who's following you or who you're following or stuff like that? Or is it going to be like, how many Bible verses have you read today, or are you caught up on your Bible plan? Like, social media can be a good thing, and it is a good thing. Like, I'm glad that we have it. Like, all this technology, like, through these times has made me very blessed to have all this technology, because, like, I look back and I'm like, if we didn't have this, like, we'd be, I don't know what we'd be, because I can't even think of it. Like, it's hard to not see yourself having this stuff, you know? Like,
Yes.
well, once again, like, to answer the question, like, social media can be a good thing to an extent. Like, you have
Man,
to, you can't let it control your life.
awesome. Have boundaries, people. Have boundaries with social media. Check your priorities. And are you using it to spread the gospel and positivity? Um, Great points. We're coming to a close right here. But in the spirit of being done with Halloween, it's behind us now. Christmas is so far away. The next biggest thing is Turkey Day. I'm talking about the Thanksgiving, y'all. Lana, I just need you to give me something that you're grateful for and something that you're ready to eat on Thanksgiving. Could you share that with us?
Yes, I am thankful for my family,
Mhm.
my church family, my immediate family, and my church family. And I'm thankful for Pulse, because if I didn't have Pulse on Wednesdays, I don't know what I'd do with myself. So
Mhm.
Pulse is a good way to see my friends and see my family all at once and be in the Word. So I really enjoy it, and I'm really blessed that we can do this online and have it the next 2 weeks. So
Come on now. Look at that attitude. I'm definitely gonna try to steal some of that excitement from you. It just reshapes your focus to say, listen, we could not have this at all, but we have technology to be able to experience uh our families, man. Like this is like you said, this is my church family. I love y'all and y'all crazy selves. And Lana, last question. What are you ready to eat on Thanksgiving?
um my grandmother makes some really good mashed potatoes, and I love mashed potatoes.
Okay. Some taters. He's ready for the taters.
I
This
would have said
man
taters, but
he said crab goons. All right, everybody. I know we just talked about not canceling people, but we ain't doing crab goons on
what the
on
heck?
on
I'm sorry.
Turkey
I don't
Day.
know.
I'm sorry, James. We don't know what it is. Um,
James.
Lana, we love you. So thankful for you showing up tonight and doing this. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, Lana. We love you.
Bye.
Um, bye bye. Um, to the rest of you guys, thank you for tuning in. It truly is an honor and a blessing to have you guys here today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Come back next week, the same thing next week, and hopefully we can get some more guests on here. Um, Take your notes, set time to worship, set your boundaries with social media, and listen, man, find somebody that you don't like and love on them anyways. We love y'all. God bless. I'm praying for every single one of y'all. Deuces, man.